Hello and welcome to Mindset Money Success podcast, and I'm your host Loraine Marshall, and today we are going to talk about the money aspect, and the topic of today's podcast is financial challenges. So we're covering how women can face financial challenges after any of what I call the 3Ds in relationship endings. The first one is divorce, and the second one is death of a spouse or a partner, and the third one is discard, which is the sudden end of a relationship after a narcissistic devaluation and discard, or where the person has had to end a relationship very quickly. So, what are the financial challenges that we can face, and what positive steps can you take? Let's get started. Financial challenges after significant relationship ending can be fraught with emotional fears, anxiety, grief, and in some cases, significant trauma. Having experienced divorce, the sudden death of a spouse, and post-separation experience of a narcissistic relationship, I know firsthand how overwhelming this path can be. Each situation brings unique financial hurdles that can lead to emotional and financial devastation. Rebuilding and starting over again takes time. Everyone's journey is different. No one should be shamed or blamed if they experience emotional trauma after grief and loss. We need to remember how vulnerable we are in these times of change, and for many older women, the support networks might not be there anymore. I'm going to play you a short video which I recorded a few months ago, and the video is entitled 3Ds in Relationship Endings. I have experienced 3Ds in relationship endings. Divorce. We separated. My choice to leave. No issues, no conflict, no maintenance payments. I purchased the property after separation, and the divorce came later. Death of my partner. We were not married. We had started a business in June 2005. And he died suddenly in December 2006. I was in grief, traumatised. I was working, employed, and running a business at the same time. I was living in a 3-bedroom apartment. I had no money worries, and I was not about to lose my home. I had time off from work and a staged return as I worked for Sunderland City Council European team. Discarded or dumped. We were not married. In a relationship from March 2009, I moved to his home in 2014, then moved to our retirement home in Spain in 2016. He confessed to cheating in December 2017, and I thought it was an affair. He lied. Told me he met her in November 2017, and I discovered from his Wednesday girl from Sheffield post-separation that they had met in August 2009. A double life I knew nothing about. Why did he confess to cheating? He ended it with her, and he told me he still wanted me in his life. He was working for our future, in our home. I forgave him, but he was not worthy of my forgiveness. Just as he was making the commitment to us being together in Spain after packing a removal van in the UK in July 2020, he arrived back in Spain on the 25th of August. 2 days later, my whole world fell apart as he did his 4-sentence discard speech on the evening of the 27th of August 2020. He was now in love with another woman, his teenage sweetheart from 40 years ago. He He proposed to her 6 weeks after leaving Spain. What type of man? I self-published my story and experience of post-separation abuse. I'm raising awareness of the hidden forms of abuse that I myself did not understand while I was in that relationship. Now I do know I won't be making the same mistake again. Buy my book, read my story, discover how the solicitors involved didn't help the situation. In fact, they made things worse. My story and journey through post-separation abuse is not over yet. I have to navigate the Spanish justice system as the ex has 3 overlapping litigations against me, including 7 criminal allegations. He wants to see me homeless, financially devastated, and maybe even in prison, and I'm fighting for my human rights. The financial fallout of divorce. Divorce is not just the end of a marriage, it's a financial upheaval. Legal fees, dividing assets, and establishing new living arrangements can drain resources quickly. The loss of a second income means a dramatic shift in lifestyle and often requires a complete financial reorganisation. For many women, this means re-entering the workforce, often after years of focusing on family, and this can give rise to fear and feeling unsettling. Hopefully, the divorce will be amicable and happen relatively smoothly. However, sometimes there is conflict, or one party will not come to the table to discuss things when they want to battle through the courts, causing more emotional pain than necessary. See my book recommendations below. Divorcing a Narcissist. Dealing with the paperwork and the legal processes following a significant life change can be extremely stressful, and the possibility of losing your home due to financial constraints or health issues is daunting. Sudden and unexpected death of a spouse. Losing a spouse suddenly is an emotional and financial shock. In addition to the grief, there's the immediate need to handle funeral expenses, settle debts, manage legal matters related to the estate. And if the deceased spouse was the primary breadwinner, the surviving partner might find themselves struggling to manage household finances alone. Insurance policies and pensions may provide some relief, but accessing these funds can be a complex and time-consuming process. Facing the prospect of prolonged loneliness and isolation is also a common fear. The emotional pain from losing a spouse or a partner at the end of a long-term relationship or a marriage can be profound and debilitating. There's one very important thing to be aware of. That is, couples who decide to live together need to arrange a legal contract that will cover both parties in the event of unexpected death of a partner. There is no legal security for non-married couples if they have not registered their living together arrangements or had wills drawn up. I was in this position in 2006 with the loss of my partner in life and business. I was fortunate to be in full-time employment at that time. Plus, I had a secure, affordable rental. Plus, the added assurance of a business that had been operating 18 months and was already profitable. The worst possible scenario is to lose the main income earner, leaving you in grief, while you are also struggling to make ends meet financially. Emotional and financial abuse after narcissistic discard. Ending a relationship with a narcissist is uniquely challenging. Narcissists often use financial control as a way of maintaining dominance. They might have hidden assets or run up debts in your name, or left you with nothing but the emotional and financial wreckage to clean up. The psychological trauma of such a relationship can leave you feeling powerless and uncertain about your financial future. In this situation, married or not, separating from a relationship that has involved emotional and financial abuse and sometimes physical abuse can be traumatizing or even dangerous. Take a look at my book recommendation, In Control: Dangerous Relationships and How They End in Murder. For 30 years, Jane Monckton Smith has been fighting to change this. A former police officer and internationally renowned professor of public protection, Jane developed her groundbreaking research into an 8-stage homicide timeline, laying out identifiable stages in which coercive relationships can escalate to violence and even murder. My second book recommendation is Divorcing a Narcissist: The Lure, the Loss, and the Law. It's an Amazon.com #1 bestseller. It will help you to recognize narcissistic behavior and prime you on what challenges lie ahead and provide practical insights on how to survive the process. It will also help you to work with a lawyer so you can both understand the potential pitfalls that could frustrate attempts to finalize your separation. Positive steps that you can take. Seek professional advice. Find legal experts who specialize in post-separation issues and consult with financial advisors. Make sure that you understand your rights and options. Budget and plan. Create a realistic budget that reflects your new financial situation. Planning can help mitigate the stress of sudden financial changes. Emotional support. Surround yourself with supportive friends, family, a counsellor. Emotional recovery is crucial for regaining financial independence. Legal protection. In cases of financial abuse, ensure that you take legal steps to protect your assets and credit. This might include freezing your credit, changing your bank accounts, and securing personal financial documents. In the UK, economic abuse is now included in the crime of coercive controlling behaviour. And for more information on this, visit the website Surviving Economic Abuse. I will leave a link in the show notes. Rebuild credit. If your credit score has been damaged, take steps to rebuild it. Pay your bills on time, reduce debts, and seek support if required. Consider speaking directly to any banks or credit card companies to explain your financial situation. What you don't need to do is bury your head in the sand. Community resources. Seek out support and resources or groups for women in similar situations. They can offer advice, a friendly ear, and practical help. Know that you are not alone. Emergency fund. When you are feeling safe and secure, you can think about investing. Start building an emergency fund to provide financial cushion for unexpected expenses or further changes. In conclusion, women in non-married cohabiting relationships often face less favourable treatment under the law when these relationships end compared to their married counterparts. This is primarily due to the lack of legal recognition and protection for cohabiting couples, which can lead to significant financial and housing challenges. Legislative reform has been recommended to address these issues, but significant changes have yet to be implemented in many countries. I feel that it is important to raise awareness about the gaps in the laws in situations of cohabitation and the necessity of legal agreements to protect one's rights. Remember, everyone's journey is different. No one should be shamed or blamed if they experience emotional trauma after grief and loss. Thank you for listening and see you on the next podcast. Bye for now.